Alright, welcome back to the SuperCoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to review round 2 of the 2024-25 SuperCoach BBL season, as well as preview round 3. So a decent week for us, nothing spectacular, but a 947, which was good enough to boost us 2,000 spots in the overall. So we're in the top 12%, but pretty tough in terms of the SuperCoach Nuff leagues. So if we have a look at the team and how they went, someone's cranking the car volume outside. So as part of taking Matty Short's VC loop, we brought Doran in. So Seaford was 53 as our keeper. In the end, probably not the right call because Connolly outscored Short with a 115 for Short and a 146 for Connolly. Mostly off the back of his effort last night. Stoyan with a 46 was fair enough. Darcy Short was a bit of a surprise. We weren't sure if he was playing or not. He ended up playing both games, scoring us 86, which was nice. Hurst was a bit of a flop though, just the 6 points. Constas getting a duck, and now he's off to the test squad. Overton was quite good with 164. He probably should have been our captain, but you know, we backed Short based on pedigree. Connolly because we were looking to loop. Richardson, disappointing with 7 in the first game and then ended up not playing the second game, and now is in the test squad. So not sure what's going on there, but it's probably time for him to go anyway, given their double is done. Tom Curran with a 30 will be useful this week. Fergus O'Neill made some good money again with 80. Abbott with just the 41. Zampa scoring 34 on the pine. And Baisley, 64 was good, but mostly as a batsman, which, given he bats around 7 or 8, is a little bit of a concern. If we have a look at the game day matchups, so in the first league, a little bit short. Cooper's team getting me by about 70 points. Mostly down to Henry Thornton and Will Sutherland being the difference makers there. And, you know, Richardson sort of dragging me down a bit. But the top score in the round was, on the league, sorry I should say, was Jason's Raiders with an 1186. So Tommy Rogers with a 111 was quite good. Other than that, he also had Thornton, Overton, Behrendorff with a 127 is probably one I didn't have. Ashton Turner with 109 is pretty handy for a double game week. So some good scores in those teams. In the second league, Wacko Jacko got me. So 1025. Jack Edwards with the 65. He'll be very handy this week. Thornton with a 106 we've discussed. Sutherland as well. So a lot of similar players, but I guess those slight difference makers, Turner and Thornton in particular, probably got me in that round. But Stars for the win with a monster 12-27. So Captain Connolly, which is what I should have done. So well done to you, Sam. Tommy Rogers in the team, Agar and O'Neill as well. So, you know, some good returns there. Also had Thornton, Behrendorff, so nice stuff. Where are we going? Number 3 league. So no Test Eagles. Frank's team with a 1049. Captain Behrendorff, which is a bit of a pod move, but you'd love to see it. Had Thornton as well. So Thornton and Behrendorff are the ones I obviously missed this week. Highest in the league was Distraction Zone, Mark's team. So again, Thornton, Behrendorff featuring Turner, Captain Connolly. Had Ollie Pope, 62. Be interesting to see if they do like a mid-season dual update and he gets a wicket keeper. I don't know if they do that in BBL SuperCoach. He's got Edwards lined up for this week, Milne as well. So pretty well positioned there, Mark. Love to see it. All right, and then the last one, we actually got a bit of a win over the Rhinos. So, and Mark had some decent players. He had Riley Meredith, Henry Thornton, Tom Rogers as captain, which is unorthodox on the single game week, but did the job. Probably just like a Lance Morris scoring three across both fixtures is a bit flat. Did he play last night? I can't remember. But Bo Webster with a three, so just a bit unlucky with some of those selections. But the top scorer in this league was Sharp's team Guns N' Roses. So again, a lot of the familiar names we've already seen. He had Josh Inglis with the 78, which worked out all right. Don't know how that's going to go next week with the Boxing Day test match on, but obviously can trade him out this week. Just quickly looking at some of the other big scores this week. Lloyd Pope was one that not many people had. 156, probably not worth a trade in, but given he was on the double, would have been great to have. Mitch Owen, this is the one I'm filthy about because obviously I had him in my team. I then traded to Zaltzman to get Richardson's score as a loop in game week one because I hadn't quite figured the loop thing out properly. And so that's burnt me 30k. Don't know if he's worth bringing in other than for some cash generation. But given there's three teams on the double this week, I think most people will be targeting players from those teams, particularly the Sixers and the Heat. So if you've got a free trade, would be nice for some cash, but I don't think that's number one priority. McSweeney's an interesting one, back in the Heat team after being dropped. They're on the double this week, so could be a pretty nice point of difference. Berendorf short. So a lot of these players we've already discussed. Ben Dorshus will be a popular target this week if you've got some cash at 162. Bancroft did all right, 100. So he should make a bit of money in the short term. Edwards, I think, as I said, is probably going to be number one target this week. Hussein, if you've got a fair bit of money, he'll be a good one to target. Jordan Silk, that's a bit too low for what we're after. And then, it's just whatever at that point. In terms of break-evens for this week, Mitch Owens, number one, 78. Riley Meredith, negative 34. Obviously, Hobart don't have a double until about week 8, super late in the season. So probably not worth it at this stage. Rogers and Sutherland will probably be the top two targets next week. Coming off the bye, they've got another double. So if you've got them, hold. If you don't, just wait a week to get them in. Nathan Ellis, copy and paste what I said about the other Hurricanes assets. McSweeney looks like he's guaranteed to make some cash, so that could figure in your decision. Ashton Turner, he's had his double, so probably not worth it at this point. Renshaw is a cheaper option I do like. Bancroft with just the 2 break even, but I think the Thunder also have a late-ish double, so probably not worth considering at this point. And then after that, it's whatever. So, in terms of trades this week, so I think we're going to use a boost because we really want to target these 3 teams. We've got a few stars assets, so we're set there. But we are struggling outside of that if we quickly do some shuffling around. So we currently don't really have a keeper. I think Hurst will play with Inglis in the test squad. But it's just one of those things. We do have a couple of good keeping options. So see if it can go on the bench. O'Neill can go on the bench. So with Constas in the test squad, you can see we're currently sort of 1 player down, probably 2 players down with Richardson there as well. Potentially 3 with Abbott also in the squad. So got to make some big fixes here. So I think we'll definitely trade Richardson out. definitely trade Hurst out. I think we may have to trade Abbott out. And then the fourth trade, and this is a problem, we've sort of stitched ourselves up with having two cheapies here that aren't making money. But I think we may have to trade Seaford out just for that cash that he's got. So, number one target we've talked about, we're not going to muck around. Jack Edwards locked in. From there, I guess we could look at wicket keepers. First, we'll just filter by position. So, the two targets, Jimmy Pearson, Josh Philippe. So, if we look at the fixture, Philippe does have the Stars Boxing Day and then the Heat, so they actually play each other. So the Stars at home is a really great fixture. Jimmy Pearce a little bit more expensive, but does have the Scorchers over in Perth first up, and then the Sixers, albeit at the Gabba. But I'm going to go a bit left field here because if we all do the same thing, no one's going to get anywhere. I'm going to scroll down a bit, and he's only just come into the country to replace Allsop, but Tom Benton, he apparently was in Australia for the game the other night, but because he'd only just arrived, they did leave him out of the team. So I imagine he'll come into the team for the next game week, which on the double is pretty nice. Slightly cheaper as well, so we squeeze a few extra K from Josh Philippe. But I guess from what we've seen previously, he is all action. It'd be interesting to see if he actually just replaces Pearson at the top of the order. They have Munro, Ben, and then, McSweeney, Renshaw. Pearson may slot in at 5. But yeah, I think, we'll go a bit point of difference there with Ben at wicketkeeper. And then I guess it's a question of who do we want to bat. So I guess the advantage of trading out a Seaford with this extra money is it does give us the luxury of bringing in another Brisbane Heat asset who hasn't had a crack yet. If I can, I'll just keep going because he's at 0 points. And that's one Spencer Johnson. So another one that's due to come in for Boxing Day match. We know what he's about, takes wickets, loves it. And then you can see it gives us a fair bit of money to spend in the batting position. So there's two options here. If we can swing it, which I think we can now, we've got rid of some of the non-playing options. We can bring McSweeney in, but we can potentially also hold short. So see if it would be sitting on the bench. Target that double next week with the wicket-keeping option. So if we lock in those trades, we'll have a bit of an update on the team. So we don't really have any emergencies. But what we do have is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players on the double. 6, sorry, I forgot Mackenzie there. 7, Curran. Forgot about the Stars guys down here. So yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for next week. So we're well positioned. There's a couple of targets on the radar. We've still got, so maybe we can't do short because Saltzman is not playing. Alright, so let's undo that. Where's the update the trade? So Seaford, you've got to go, champ. So Short does play the double next week as well, assuming he's in for both games. Looks like he's in good enough form to hold that spot. So, yeah. So we've got 12 playing this week. It's a little bit tight, but I guess you've got to risk it for the biscuit, don't you? So in terms of captaincy, I think Edwards is vice captain, and then as captain, it's got to be from the Heat. So probably going to go Spencer Johnson. So in all likelihood, we probably will take the loophole unless Edwards probably has to get injured, I'd say, just from our lesson with Cooper Connolly. you know, but don't worry about the first game so much. But yeah, we've got Johnson there as backup, which is fine. Got Ben as our little point of difference maker. So just have a look through. A lot of people bringing in Mitch Owen. I try not to look at this for this reason. Maxwell is the obvious one we've missed, but just given the Stars' form and that monster break even, yeah, I'm happy to let him go past at the moment. Dorcius would be nice. I mean, we probably have the money there to go up from Johnson to Dorcius potentially. Dorcius has slightly better batting, but I guess the other thing to consider is we said Abbott won't be available here. Would he be available here? Is that a waste of a trade? Abbott playing one game might be better than, say, Baisley playing one game. Alright, let's update it. Hang on, I'll put someone in there first. Mackenzie, get down there. Now we can do that a bit easier. So this video is probably stretched on a bit longer than I had anticipated, but that's all good. Yeah. Yeah, so it looks a bit nicer. Cool. So, yeah, so I don't know what I've done there, but yeah, Philippi, I guess more people going. As I said, I prefer him over Pearson, but I think part of that is to do with Benton coming in, and I'm going to go a bit left field and go with Benton. I mean, if he doesn't play in the first game, which I'd imagine he would, they can slot Pearson back in, and that's not an issue. It won't be too late. Oops, didn't mean to click that. And Renshaw, I've got McSweeney, who's going to make some cash. Very similar type players, but McSweeney does bat before Renshaw. And I think McSweeney's slightly more likely to get an over or two with his off spin over Renshaw. But the Heat don't rely on that too much. So I think that's the team for this week. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to get them below this video. Give us a like, thumbs up if you enjoy the BBL content. Subscribe like all the other legends. I think we've just cracked 450 subscribers, which is pretty crazy. I know a lot of them are from the NRL, AFL team pickers, but I'm sure a lot of those guys are playing this too. So feel free to get on board with all that. Other than that, Merry Christmas, and we'll catch you sometime towards the end of the year.